With a tax deal, we know that the top 2% earners will also get a tax break as well. Everyone will get a tax break starting January 1st if this goes through Congress.
Right.
Some Democrats say that the rich are simply going to keep that money, and there are a lot of Republicans who say it will create jobs. Do you think that tax break for the wealthy, the top 2%, will allow you to hire more, to create more jobs?
Well, I don't know about that, but what I do know is when we're at the point of a fairly embryonic economic recovery, the notion of increasing taxes to anybody is, in my view, counterintuitive to trying to get sustainable economic growth. Also remember that even in the top 2% of wage earners above $250,000, you also have small business owners there that I think that are vital to the economic recovery and need both the access to credit and the extensions on the tax credits so they can reinvest accordingly.
There's some opposition, obviously, on the tax cut deal from the left as well as the right. There's some Republicans now who are calling into question the efficacy of this. One of them is former Massachusetts Governor Republican Mitt Romney. He wrote in this op-ed, he says, with only a 2-year extension of the Bush tax cuts, investors know that before their returns are realized, tax rates may be jacked up to the levels favored by President Obama. So while the tax deal will succeed in temporarily putting more money in the hands of consumers, it will fail to deliver its full potential for creating lasting growth. Is he right?
Well, here's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the fact that there appears to be a compromise deal that has a high likelihood of going through. I think we have to be watchful to get out of this game of, while we're making progress, could we do it better? Could we do it faster? Why don't we consider a 3-year instead of a 2-year? I think that those discussions and negotiations occurred. They were hammered out and ultimately decided by the president. It's time to lock and load and move forward, get them codified, get the certainty of the next 2 years and move on. And let's keep nailing down those achievements to provide greater certainty to the economy so we can put more points on the board.
But do you think that that will allow your company, companies like yours that depend on people to have income, create more jobs, either in the short term or the long term?
I think it's neutral to positive. I think.
What does that mean? In layman speak, what would that mean?
Well, it's certainly not negative, and I don't think that we, Motorola, would make a hiring decision based on the extension of the Bush tax credits, if that's what you're asking. I don't think it's that. I think whether we grow is depending upon the market conditions that we're operating in, the competitive landscape, the demand for our product. We sell to both government and enterprise in the Motorola Solutions area, non-cell phone area, so we're less vulnerable to, if you will, consumer demand. But I think it's a constructive environment to start with. But there's a lot more things that will be important to whether we hire and invest. Overall corporate tax reform, R&D tax credit. Let's get the Korean free trade deal approved. Let's follow on quickly, hopefully, with Panama and Colombia. So I think those are the bigger areas that will create an overall climate for sustainable economic growth. And those, among other things, are some of the things we talked about today.
All right. Greg Brown, thank you so much for joining us here in the
Suzanne, thank you.